Mike Frankel, CageMinds.com. We're at Fit NHB. We got a dirty bird with us. Tim Means, how you doing?
Doing good, man. It's a nice Saturday. The week's coming to an end, so I can't complain about that.
3 weeks away from UFC 189. How you feeling?
Everything's on point. I feel good. Still far enough away to think about the fight, but ready to go.
So, fight. What is it? Fox Sports 1 prelim main event. Does the spotlight mean anything? You're slowly but surely working your way up that card.
They could really put me anywhere on the fight card. It's cool with me. You know, the guys that I'm fighting are getting cooler. You know, the names, and make as much money in a short amount of time as we can. So I got like Matt Brown's a bonus fight, so I'm excited for this fight.
So I said the minute I heard it, I'm like, this has potential for fight of the year. What are your thoughts on something like that?
It should be the most violent fight on the card. There's a lot of cool fights, a lot of cool matchups, but our styles are a lot in the same way. You know, he's a little more reckless, you know, takes a little more chances, but we both go for the finish, so it should be a violent fight.
So someone that fights in the same essence of the same style, coming forward with their boxing and really violent with the elbows and the clinch. So what is that to be looking at a film and be like, yeah, I recognize a lot of this.
Yeah,
I do it too.
I just gotta be better than him in those positions, and I am. So his elbows are good, but he's only good when guys aren't throwing back at him, and he's not gonna see that from me on the 11th. You know, I'm gonna throw back. So ultimately, I want the finish. The champions weren't able to finish him, and that's what I want.
A lot of people look at you guys, you're both strikers. So how much is the wrestling you think going to play a factor in this fight? Because I could see that being a difference maker right there a little bit.
You know, I want to say that I'm going to go in there and wrestle, or I'm going to go in and use jits or whatever, but you never know till you're in there on how the card's going to fall. But I'm well-rounded, and personal vendetta I have is I need to show more wrestling and mix some takedowns in, which I've been doing my last few fights, getting on the ground, submitting George Sullivan in my last fight. So just have to have that confidence level. I'm confident in my striking, and I just want to be confident in my wrestling.
So it's the most ridiculous question you've been asked about your ground game since then. It kind of sounded like, oh my God, Tim Means got a win by some. He knew how to do that.
Yeah, guys are surprised that I can fight on the ground, but even in the fights I lost, I was delivering the better strikes. I was winning the dirty boxing, if you will. You know, we could dirty box standing straight up when you're on your back, one guy's on top. It's still dirty boxing. I felt I was winning those exchanges, and just the guy was on top of me, you know. So they won the fight for just simply being on top and hanging on for dear life. So now we've been working a lot on the scrambling, a lot on sweeps, and not staying in those positions for any significant amount of time.
And every time I see you, you just seem like you're getting bigger. What's going on with the strength and conditioning?
Trying to lift, man. Trying to get in that gym. I don't know if I'm so much bigger. I'm 195 right now, so I need to start cutting weight. But eating clean, lots of hydrating, and just really enjoying.
Yeah, 195. I gotta swear, that's the biggest you've ever told me you are when we're doing one of these interviews.
I was 207 when I started. About last week I was 207. So right now I don't want to get no bigger than that. You know,
So what's the joys of never having to weight cut again?
I still have to weight cut, but I never have to see 55 again, and that's absolutely magnificent. You know, I'm gonna use the word fabulous. You know, it's huge, and I'm excited to never, ever, ever go back to lightweight.
Welterweight, you're up to Matt Brown. He's number 5 ranked in the world. So what is it like being able to climb the ladder and get this recognition and be put into a big fight?
You know, right after I beat Sullivan, 30 minutes afterwards, they asked me if I wanted to fight Matt Brown in July, and I wanted to say yes right then and there. I looked at Coach Tom, kind of held my tongue or whatever, enjoyed my win for that few minutes, but I couldn't stop thinking about the fight. So all the way up to about Monday, we flew back, got here Sunday night. Monday morning they were calling, the UFC calling, wanting the answer. So I'm stoked to have fights like this. This guy isn't going to hang on. He's not going to be hugging my leg for 15 minutes. He's going to be fighting me, trying to beat me up, and I'm not going to have to think. I'm just going to have to react.
So is it like a different mindset, almost thinking, I know for this bout, I'm going in and this one is definitely going to be a fight? Before, some have turned into wrestling matches. There's been guys that have wanted to play tag with you. But this one, pretty sure it's going to be a fight.
This is going to be a fight. This is going to be a good old-fashioned fist fight in the parking lot, you know, here at Applebee's in Albuquerque, New Mexico, in a way, you know. So it's exciting. It's a violent fight, a guy that wants to hurt you. And like I said, you don't have to think a lot. You just have to react. So I've been doing 6 5-minute rounds with a fresh guy every minute. So we're ready for that pace.
One of the guys that holds mitts around here for you told me, he's like, Tim Means is taking it to another level. He looks scary. So where do you feel you're going as a martial artist right now?
I feel I've gotten open-minded, man, and just ultimately learned how to diet. I've learned how to rehydrate, and I've gotten smarter with age, you know. They talk about a fine wine gets better with age. I haven't found a fine wine that's good at all, but in that case, we'll use it for me. I'm getting better as I get older, and just fighting's became fun again, you know, learning, getting in here, learning new techniques, just being a martial artist, and I just enjoy my job. I enjoy what I do.
So, tell us about a little bit of how you get your creativity inside the cage. We see you put together great combinations, the elbows, just the way you do stuff. It's different than a lot of people. So, how do you have that vision in your creativity?
Arlene Sanchez Vaughn, you know, Coach Arlene, she's super creative with the footwork and the elbow placements and the timing, and she's always getting a new trick put in my head or a new elbow combination or something. And just the way she breaks things down, she really opens it up. You know, she gets me to where I can understand it, breaks it down like I'm a 2-year-old playing with blocks. You know, I'm starting to understand, and you know, she just really understands things, and she can break it down and make it easy for me. So a lot of things I haven't done in fights yet, and I'm just looking to get more and more comfortable and pulling tricks out of my bag.
I always ask you about this. Have you thought, why didn't I make this move sooner to 70?
I don't know. You know, right now the fights were at catch weights, and you know, they offer titles in King of the Cage, and I wanted those shiny little belts. You know, so. If I would go back and do it differently, I probably wouldn't. You know, it made me tougher. It made me tough. It showed me I had mental toughness to get through those weight cuts. I don't know how it happened, but I learned to believe in myself in a lot of ways. So those weight cuts helped with that. They got harder towards the end, taking fights on 8 days notice and 10 days notice. But at 70, I fought Sullivan late notice, 3 weeks notice, so I could make that weight there, and I could definitely perform there.
So what was that like? Because that was your shortest cut, right? 70,
Yeah.
shortest time?
That was all right. You know, I got a little fatigued in the fight just because it was such a short notice, but I just had that gas tank and the calories in my tank to be able to outlast him. You know, he had 12 weeks, I had 3 weeks, so, and he was exhausted. So I'm confident in what we do here at Fit and what coaches run me through in practice. I'm not breaking, so I'm not going to break in the fight.
You got to start saying that you can see the future, because when we were talking about that last fight, you had it pretty hard on the head that he was about what he was going to come out, what he was going to do, and about how long he was going to have the gas to keep up with you. So what do you see Matt Brown bringing out?
Matt Brown's going to come out balls to the wall in the first round, and you know, there's not going to be no weather in a storm. I'm going to beat his ass up in the first round. I'm going to beat him up in the second round, and I'm looking for the finish in the third.
He's coming off the losses after he had that big winning streak, him trying to get his name up there. So how much are you expecting that to drive him to really come out to try to prove a point and make a statement almost against you?
I've gotten word from my friends and stuff that he's already asking for the Condit fight, and you know, kind of just overlooking me and stuff, and that's cool. Shame on him. You don't overlook anybody in this sport, but for some reason he thinks he's the immortal. With 13 losses on your record, you can't really be immortal. You know, that means you're a regular human that bleeds and loses. So immortal nothing. I'll take his power that night. I'm gonna kick his ass.
He's talking about Carlos Condit. I'm pretty sure you haven't even thought about anything, but throw us a number. Where do you think they're gonna stick you if you win this fight? Where will the writers put you? Does this make you top 10?
I'm not really sure. You know, the writers, I don't know.
That's why I kind of throw it at you. I'm like, just throw out a number. I'm not really, I can't tell you either where they would put you.
You know, I think they got me ranked 20th or something like that, you know, but or Fight Matrix or something, but I'm not sure. It definitely isn't backwards. So, you know, we're going to renegotiate my contract after this fight, and I'm going after bigger numbers there. So I got to win with a violent finish.
So we know this fight coming up, got the damage control on now, but it's going to be all Reebok on the 11th. So have they been in contact with you, or are you just going to wear what they throw at you? Do we get to see a dirty bird on there?
Yeah, they sent us all of our the fit sheet, you know, sizes and all that. They're gearing up the cornermen. Our names are on everything, or my name's on everything. So you know, I'm happy with the Reebok deal. You know, the sponsorship stuff. We've had Jason David with EKG Management helping out, but sponsorships haven't been that good. We're still waiting to get paid. Sometimes 4 or 5 months after the fact, sometimes 6 months. So it's been a little bit better with Jason David on board, but at the same time, I'm going to make more money with the Reebok deal. So I see these guys complaining, and guys like Brendan Schaub saying that they're losing money and all that. I heard his sponsors. I heard Dana White name them off, and there's no way he's making $100 grand for those guys. So I see a lot of complaining from these guys, but if somebody wants to write me a $5,000 check and give it to me, well, hand it over. So.
I had asked Sean Jordan about this. When you heard that and how the structure was, did you real quick share dog yourself and start looking, how many fights do I have in their cage again?
I knew how many fights I had with him right away. So I have one more fight, and I moved to the 3rd pay tier, and I'm happy with that. So the UFC is looking for you to put in work with their company and work for their company, you know. So I can understand the way it breaks down. I see guys complaining about getting $50,000 for being the champion, stuff like that. You know, that's cool. Let them complain. You know, I'm cool with it. So they don't want their check, they can throw it over here.
So when you see the guys in the gym that are on the regional circuit and you hear that, how much more blasphemous do you think it is? We don't know how good we got it right now for what guys are trying to be given on the lower circuit.
I think these guys have forgotten where they came from and forgot that Jose Aldo was living in a gym and homeless, you know. So everyone keeps comparing MMA to boxing, and boxing's been around for hundreds of years. You know, you can't compare the money or the sport to each other because they're two different lifestyles. You know, so MMA is still relatively new, but the paydays are getting better. They send incentives in between fights, bonuses in between fights. Even when I've lost, I've gotten a bonus. So what job does that?
Wow, well that was like a spoiler alert. I don't think I've ever heard any UFC fighter come out and say that.
Yeah.
Of how they take care of them. So on the last thing, people also have been talking about the fighter union, and then one of the things that was brought up is, oh look, the UFC got to implement whatever drug testing rules they wanted. Kind of thought was, well, you know, you look at a league like the NFL and stuff, and guys just get to appeal every little thing. Kind of at a point, you know, you break a law, you live with it. What are your thoughts on this stuff going on?
I think the guys in the NFL and baseball and basketball, again, those sports have been around for a long time now, so they've been able to organize. I'm not really sure what the union's going to do for us, anything like that. I haven't really touched base with those guys. But I got buddies that are in the NFL and Major League Baseball and stuff, and them fools just spend their money too fast. They make a bunch of money, they blow it real quick. So maybe they should kind of just start slapping themselves on the hands before they buy a $3,000 watch or a $40,000 car or something, or not even 40,000, like 90,000, some of them guys. So stop pointing the blame, kind of take responsibility for yourselves. Watch a documentary with Mike Tyson, Holyfield, and those guys, and they just spent way too much money and trusted in the wrong guys. So believe in yourself and believe in the close people that are by you rather than trying to get big.
And then on the drug testing, what are your thoughts? I'm like, I think it's great. We don't need cheaters around here. There's too many guys that are doing everything the right way.
I think if these guys are complaining, then they're the ones cheating. You know, why even worry about it if you don't have nothing in your back pocket?
That's what I've heard from several guys. If I'm a test clean, I don't care about what the punishment is for being dirty.
Hey, I remember when I was getting in trouble with the law, I was having to look over my shoulder. And now that I don't get in trouble with the law, I don't have to look for them dudes. You know what I mean? So it shouldn't be a reason that they're worried or complaining if they're straight laced. You know.
And last thing on the fight, people throw out cliches all the time. Is this the biggest fight to this point of your career?
This is the guy with the biggest name, but I fought guys that are technically better. So.
And then, who do you need to thank? Who do you need to shout out to?
Damage control all the time. My coaches here at Fit and HB, my team at Fit, and I want to thank Reebok and the UFC. So start writing them checks, hand them on over.
And we know you got a sponsor, put yourself out there. So how do the fans follow you on the social media?
Social media, Tim Dirty Bird Means. It's Tim DB Means on Instagram, I believe, and then at Means Tim on Twitter. So yeah, there we are.
UFC 189. You cannot miss it, July 11th. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, brother.